Dinner in Hell band, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, the band is freaking just consistently tight.
Oh, they're so good. Every time, it's like, I want to say they get better, but they can't, because it's perfect. They're perfect every night.
Oh. Thank you for rehearsing, you guys. This one song every night at rehearsal, 2 hours straight.
Can you believe this audience?
They rehearse with the lights off. Don't even look at each other. They're awesome.
Incredible. This audience, they're gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
They're geniuses.
That's them. Classic Dinner in Hell audience, live audience.
Welcome back for another exciting edition of the Dinner in Hell podcast, the show where two amateur historians talk about the atrocious underbelly of history. I am one of your co-hosts, Brad the Impaler, and with me, as always, Sir Ronson of Maiden.
Once again, back in the freaking recording chair next to Brad the Impaler, talking about the torture method.
Oh, and what a torture method it is.
Episode 75, right?
Yep. 75. We would be well into collecting Social Security by now, were we a human being in these years of age.
Oh. Today will be discussing turn signal torture. What is that exactly?
What?
When you're at an intersection and your turn depends on the oncoming car who has the right of way, and they don't have a turn signal on, and then you are there waiting on your life is in their hands, and then they turn suddenly without the blinker, and you could have went the whole time.
I know exactly where this happened to you on the way over to the studio.
Oh no, it happens to me daily basis, and I've been a victim of this torture. I am here today. Here I am. I stand before you. I sit in this office chair. It's cushy. But I found a way to cure it.
Okay.
If anyone has this problem where it enrages you when people don't use their blinker, this is the solution. Just stop using your blinker. Fucking stop using your blinker. That way, just go by the rules of no one ever uses their blinker. Change the law in your head that no one uses the blinker. And when they do, it's like, it's like a little bonus. It's like, thank you, Buddha.
Well, I feel like there's something that I have to break to you.
Yeah.
This is a well-worn driving strategy, except you still use your blinker. You just always assume that every other driver on the road is a total fucking incompetent moron.
Come on, people are smart, Brad.
But you have to be prepared for their dumbest, craziest impulses to be acted upon. This is the principle of defensive driving.
You're a defensive driver?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I'm like moving through the traffic like an ambulance driver, freaking like Will Smith said in the song Summertime.
I am so responsible as a driver.
That's
you
fine.
Don't even know.
That's good. Just don't be over responsible at the stops. Once it's clear, go.
Oh, no problems there. But I will come to a complete stop. I do not roll them.
I have a code when it comes to driving. It's don't hesitate for the hesitant. So what that means is like when you gotta like get through and like one person has to pull over, you go, what?
You got one chance.
Like if they don't if they're hesitating, I'm like, I'll go. Like I don't.
Yeah, if I have the right of way, I will immediately go. If I do not have the right of way, I will wait. And the second they hesitate, I immediately go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because I want other people to move quickly for me. So I need to make sure I get through that intersection quickly. Golden rule.
Or how about one more thing about driving before we get into our real torture topic?
Oh, yeah. We're not going to do this for an hour. Sorry. We got a little... We could. Episode 762, you're going to hear this one.
I got an idea for episode 76, our next episode. It's going to be listener torture. And that's where we constantly say we're going to tell the real topic and never do. for like an hour.
You have given it away now, sir.
Like the listeners, like it's 45 minutes in, and you still haven't even said the topic. What the freak?
Do you ever watch Wonder Shows?
Hell yes.
The episode Patience?
No.
It's just
don't take mushrooms, Brad. I told you that.
It's annoying for the first 15 minutes, like specifically so, and then the last 15 minutes of the episode is the first half played backwards. And the theme of the episode is patience.
Is the audio backwards too?
Yes.
They don't change the audio?
No.
Oh. Okay.
And you keep thinking it's a joke, like it's going to stop and go forward again, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And they actually aired this on TV, and that's why I will forever give MTV credit, because they aired this. A program specifically designed to be unwatchable and make you angry, to teach you patience.
What a valuable lesson. Thanks, MTV.
What's up? If any of our listeners were involved in the making of that show, I love it. It was pure genius.
So many great things MTV has brought to American culture. But my last driving issue. Mm-hmm. Here talking about driving. Now we're talking about MTV. Anyways, I'm just kidding. My last thing is if you're on like a regular road, like let's say if you're in Downriver, Michigan, Eureka Road. Let's say it's like 35 miles per hour. Let's just say that's the speed limit. At least fucking go 35. Don't go 25 and like,
unless I see a police officer on surface streets, I will drive 5 miles an hour faster than the posted speed limit.
See what I'm saying? 35, man.
That seems to be the social contract we've all kind of agreed to. The average is 5 miles over on a surface street. If I'm on a 35, I expect the person in front of me to be traveling at 40 miles per hour. But I will not get mad if they're going the speed limit, because I get it. I can't afford tickets either.
If I'm behind you and we're going like 35 steady, like I'm with it. Like that's cool. I'm not gonna like go around you like a dick. I can handle it.
Long trip on the freeway, kick that up to 9 over.
Yeah, well,
that seems to be what the general social consensus on how you should drive on the freeway around here is.
Yeah. So that's our driving discussion. If you want to hear more about driving, go to our live stream. Anyways, here we go. We're going to get into our topic, episode 75, Dinner in Hell, Brad the Impaler. We are talking about water torture.
Oh, this one is fun. This is a good one.
This one's wet. You ready to get wet?
There's some fucking weird shit in here.
Oh, so much water, you guys. Water, vomit. We're talking about guys jumping on guys' stomachs like full of water. Like, we're going to make you puke water for sure. Like, we're talking heavy water torture.
Now, if you think about all of the things in the world that you need to live, water is like number 2 on the list. Number 3. I'll give it the top 3.
Episode 76, air torture.
Yeah, first you need the sun. Then you need oxygen to breathe. Then you need water. Like, water is like incredibly central to human life.
What's food?
4 probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't have the food without the sun, so I thought you were going food route with the sun.
Yeah, then we'll probably go shelter, round out the top 5. You think?
I mean, no, you could survive and climb up in a tree in like the Amazon where jaguar might not get you.
Yeah, but like not really. To have a sort of life, you need some sort of shelter.
Bugs will get you, but
yeah, you need. All right, we're digging away.
We're talking about survival. Dinner in Hell survival tips. Go to our blog.
Yeah, well, water is incredibly central to your life, and before in modern industrial society, you had to live right next to it because you had to get it to drink, you had to get it to bathe, you had to get all that shit yourself.
Yeah, you're not setting up camp away from water.
Yeah. And to have this substance turned against you to make you suffer or die seems especially cruel to me right out of the gate as a thematic constant.
I'm pretty sure water is one of the 7 wonders of the world. There's like the pyramids, water,
air,
the freaking Colosseum,
the Hanging Gardens of Babylon,
Mackinac Bridge.
Water has been used as an execution method and a torture method pretty much forever. It's got a long, winding, shitty global trail throughout history, and spoiler alert, to this very day.
Also, a fire retardant. Is that the right word?
Yeah, water's pretty much number one on that list.
Yeah, so it's got many claims to fame and infamy.
It has been employed in many flavors of shittiness with varying degrees of brutality all around the globe. And it's got a lot of tweaks to the various methods that can take it from really bad to downright atrocious.
Talking China, talking Spain, talking America.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're gonna be hitting everybody today.
Yep, everybody's under the microscope, under the knife. The type of torture using water that most people are probably familiar with is Chinese water torture. Everybody's heard of this one, right? It's
they frickin' put your fingers in Chinese finger handcuffs so you can't escape. And then
that's finger torture.
They squirt you with a hose in the face.
No, it's the one where they let water drip on you for a really long time, right?
Yes.
The Chinese water torture. Sounds so ancient, doesn't it? It sounds like esoteric and
first there was firework. They invented fireworks. Next thing, water torture.
Out of the mysterious Orient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's old, but it's not as old as you may suspect.
It's only 12 years old.
No, it's older than that. I was a child longer than that ago. Now, so for the origins of what you think of as Chinese water torture, a bound victim with drops of water regularly on their forehead, we only need to go back to 16th century Venice to meet Hippolytus de Marsilis.
This is before China ever did it?
I don't think China ever did this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was invented by Hippolytus de Marsilis in Venice in the 1500s, 1578.
And the idea was like once in a while you'll find a nice beach rock, but it'll have like a hole in it.
Yeah.
Like how the hell did this thing get up? Who dug this hole out? But it had been sitting sitting under a log and forever, and it just dripped on it.
You probably, at least decades.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, de Marsilis was a lawyer. He was extremely educated. He had a doctorate. He was a well-known scholar of both civil and canon law. So he's probably up there government-wise and up there church-wise. Which, if you know anything about 16th century Spain, the church is very powerful there.
Yeah.
They were real crazy about their Catholicism in Spain around that time.
That and bullfighting. Oh, they love seeing a bloody bull with frickin' spears sticking out of his back.
Yeah.
It reminds me, I want to say welcome back, Costa Rican listeners. We had one check in recently.
Nice. You got a beautiful country. Don't let them build Jurassic Park there in case anybody ever actually tries to do it.
And did we ever do a dinner in hell visit there? Please, we want to go to the best top sloth reservation where you can hold them and shit. The sloths.
Oh, love those animals.
We want to be able to zip line into a sloth reservation nude.
That's a given. So this de Marsilis guy, he was not only constantly writing declarations and paper shit, but he was a real fucking sadist. And he spent a lot of time sitting around thinking of new ways to hurt people. Yeah, he observed, how, like you described, how the water deformed the rock, and the way his mind works is it's pretty cool that it was damaging that rock, but it would be really cool if it was damaging a person. So he was obviously like a nice and cool guy.
Once again, as I've said before in this program, one thing these people needed was a goddamn television set.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, this guy thought this up where water would just like possibly erode a hole in someone's flesh.
Yeah, he thought that would be fun.
Like if he just had MTV, he could be learning American culture.
Yeah, the dominant and clearly superior culture.
the situation.
Hey, international listeners, you're welcome for McDonald's.
Yeah. You're welcome, Russia, Russian Federation.
Remember all your little interesting like neighborhood coffee shops? You're welcome for Starbucks.
When I was in Europe, they had McDonald's. Oh my God. They were packed. People are like, fuck this Spanish food. I'm just going to have bullshit McDonald's. I tell you what, be honest with you, that was me because I was an asshole and I'm a picky eater. I got eating freaking problems with, I don't want shit in my food like diced vegetables and shit, so I'm not going to be able to eat paella. What the fuck? So I had some pizzas, a lot of pizzas in Europe.
So De Marsalis was also the first person to document sleep deprivation as a form of torture.
He just played Black Sabbath at loud volumes like strobe lights.
Oh, actually, it was worse than that. He would design something like, say, a chair that he would confine you in. And as soon as it looked like you were nodding off, they would have a needle go up into your ass or a spike to wake you up. It was way worse than Black Sabbath.
It's like, you're not gonna defeat us. Like crazy lights. What?
45-minute drum solo.
There's a guy that's sitting behind the thing. He just steps on a pedal and it jabs that freaking spike into your back of your thigh. Like, God damn it. I was not dozing off. I was just yawning.
Yeah.
It was a yawn.
Yeah, he came up with that shit too.
As a human, you have a decision to make. Poke my thigh or let me just get 15 minutes. You fucking...
Imagine how quick that would break you after like night 2 when you haven't gotten up from that chair yet and they won't let you fall asleep.
My God. That was on Lost, remember? The one kid, they busted in the room and it was like crazy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It was like video pictures and remember, and he had his eyes, had like lights all around his eyes.
That might have been after I fell off.
Oh, it was like Ben's kid or something.
Yeah, I was really, really into Lost. I did not watch it when it was on TV, but probably like 5 years later, I started getting my hands on the DVDs, and me and Mrs. the Impaler watched it like ravenously. Like we couldn't get enough. And then it got to the point where they were like,
let's go back.
We need to go back. And I was like, fuck this. I am out. I was like, no way. We're done.
This kid was found because he like canoed over. You saw this scene. And then on the walls was all kinds of shit written.
Oh, from like that station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They busted him out.
That. Yeah.
It was like Ben's kid or something.
I should probably go back and watch it again one day.
I know. It's such a disappointing freaking finale for all the time you put in. It's like, what the fuck, really? There's no answer.
Oh, really? I saw.
There's no answer.
I have a YouTube video to send you that may change your mind.
Okay. Is it Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord?
Yes, it is. Sorry. I know I send that to you on like a weekly basis. That's why you sniff this one out so easily, but
it never gets old.
It'll make you love the first trilogy. If you just choose to believe that that's true, you will enjoy the first 3 Star Wars movies. Sorry.
I'm sure it'll be on TBS soon with a new movie coming out, so you'll be able to catch it.
Yeah, when you watch it, pay careful attention, and the whole time just imagine that he's an undercover Sith master. He's not the apprentice.
Yeah.
He's the master. Don't forget.
So much so that they don't sense it.
Exactly. Because he's skilled enough to conceal it from
you. Will love Jar Jar Binks after you watch the Jar Jar Binks conspiracy episode. Or, I'm sorry, YouTube video.
And then, okay, where were we?
We were talking about something about turn signals.
Oh, that's right. This is the driving episode.
Right.
Well, so in De Marsalis's vision of the quote-unquote Chinese water torture, which was invented in 16th century Venice, the victim would first be stripped of all their clothing, completely naked, displayed for the public. This was done probably in like the village square, right in the middle of town with everybody out there.
Guys like, well, first I want to say thanks for choosing February.
Oh, God.
I'm normally not like this.
That would make it worse. That's a nice twist.
It's very cold, and I am also, not to mention, barefoot and nude.
I was in the pool. I just got out of the pool.
Plus, it's having a little anxiety in front of you all being displayed like this. So,
well, they would be then ruthlessly, verbally abused by the crowd.
Where's your wiener? Where'd it go? Are you what is wrong with you? Why do you look like that? I'm cold.
Yeah.
And I'm about to die.
Maybe.
It's like March. It's
Gotta
like
tell you,
shitty
the
out.
Chinese water torture, as much as Dave Marsalis wanted it to, it's just water. It is not in any way going to hurt even your skin. It's basically like extremely annoying moisturizing. Yeah, if they tied you up there for decades, you'd be dead long before it happened, but the water would eventually wear through your skull. If technically, yeah, eventually. But your rocks can't heal. Your skin can heal, and it's just drops of water. It's not going to actually hurt anything.
I'll tell you what will hurt though is when I was in a car accident one time and they taped my head down to the fucking board, the wooden board, and then they like supported my whole body. But what hurt so bad was the back of my head being pressed on that hardwood board. So this guy is not only having the drip of water on his skin, but the back of his head, they got his head strapped down in one spot.
Yeah,
so it's
I'm not trying to say this is a pleasant experience.
Oh, yeah, it's like your leather straps down, your head is strapped down.
Yeah, I'm just saying the water ain't going to kill you.
Well,
that's all I'm saying. Now, with the abuse you're taking from the crowd on top of everything, just being restrained naked in front of a crowd would be torture enough for me. I'd start spilling all the beans. It got real dicey for them, though, because this only gets terrible after a long time. I mean, the psychological effects from having this happen to you can remain for years after. It is a brutal torture. It doesn't mean the water, because this is not pleasant. It is terrible. If you think water's going to like tear a hole in somebody's head because it was dripping on them, I just wanted to disabuse that myth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people can be driven out of their minds. It causes emotional damage very quickly. One TV program that I saw tackled this to see if as a torture method this was plausible or not. And from that premise, you may recognize the television program Mythbusters.
Oh, what a fantastic program.
Now, if you trust those people, and I do, I think they're doing earnest like experimentation and like giving you honest takes on whether shit seems real or not. Two of the people from that program underwent this torture. One was restrained and like laid back on a table. Carrie from the show. And after a mere 2 hours of having water drip on her forehead in a friendly environment where people were supportive, where she knew she could be released at any moment, she could only stand it for 2 hours before she broke down.
Oh, man.
Like, they had people asking her, like, questions to assess her, like, state and shit. And they'd ask her, like, about her anxiety, and she would, like, lose it after just 2 hours. Adam also underwent it, but he wasn't restrained. He was, like, a control subject to see if it was the water that annoyed you or the being restrained. And at first, he was super cocky, but he, even being unrestrained and just comfortably like leaning back in a chair, he could only take it for 3 hours before he gave up.
The water drip?
Yeah. So they both agreed that the torture, but they were losing it after that amount of time.
Yeah.
This process could be days long.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, though. Would you take this one over any other method we've discussed? I mean, we've talked about stretching on the rack, breaking on the wheel, freaking hung by your arms from behind your back and dropped. Click. Remember?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times this might come before other things. This might be the sort of intro.
At some point, we mentioned there's a like prefix to a wheel. Breaking on a wheel, don't we later?
Oh yeah, this did come right before a breaking on the wheel before. So that's where I'm getting this. Like we know at least on some occasions this is just for fun before something even dicier comes along.
Yeah.
But yeah, this can drive you insane. This torture can drive you insane. It is absolutely a torture. There's no question about it.
Spin the wheel. If it's a drop of water symbol or a flame symbol, you got burn at the stake. Water torture, freaking rack, stoning. We've had some crazy freaking
I guess I would prefer
topics.
This to those, but a lot of times some of those came right after this.
We did cover stoning on an episode, you guys. Check it out.
Yeah.
Women were buried up to their waist. Men were buried up. Nope. To their heads.
I think so.
No, I think the women were buried up to. I think the women were buried up to their waist and stripped nude, like to humiliate them.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was something they got different, but it was bad.
The public humiliation from this guy's implementation of the water torture was just as bad. I mean, either way, unless you have a very, very specific subset of things that you're into, this is going to be a very, very bad evening for you.
If you hate water, let's say you're hydrophobic, just turn off the episode. Go listen to the pirate episode. It's way better.
Willie Picton, he'd be fucked. They should Chinese water torture Willie Picton.
Was he hydrophobic or he just hates showering?
He didn't want water anywhere near his face. That's why he wouldn't take a shower.
I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, I did.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was though. That's why he was so stinky.
Yeah, I know the guy never bathed.
Covered in pig shit.
That was his calling card. Like the spots where his victims lived he would leave a scent of pig shit smell. Like, God damn it, it's the pig shit killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's at it again. Look out, British Columbia. A. I had to slip in an A there to make it authentic.
Just because it won't actually bore a hole through your skull doesn't mean that myth isn't part of the torture, because the people of Spain, they definitely believe that it did do that. So when the Spanish Inquisition implemented this shit, it worked. People were terrified of it. No, they did do a few things to make it a little bit dicier. Sometimes they would use cooled or heated water. I mean, if it's hot water, I can see why it might be a little bit more irritating. Or if it's ice cold, too.
Boiling?
It'll give you a headache.
Boiling?
I don't think they... It just said hot or cold. I don't know. It didn't quite say boiling.
Yeah.
That would do damage. That would burn over and over again in a tiny little spot.
The splatters would hurt, too. Like
when you think the coffee maker's done, but it's not done, and you move it, and it's just like...
Not mine. Mine's pretty talented. I pull it out. It's like, what? We're done. What? Go ahead. Safety first. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I don't think I've ever owned a coffee maker, probably because I don't drink coffee that costs more than $20. That's
what Christmas is for. What can we get you? Fuck it. You can get this. We're going to buy it anyways. Fuck it. It's at Target.
Nah, just go to Tim's.
Hell yeah. We want to be endorsed by Tim's, by the way. If you're listening, Tim Hortons Inc. Canada.ca, please contact us.
Now, the Spanish Inquisition, another wrinkle that they had is they didn't so much go for the public humiliation aspect, but it was replaced with a very different type of horror, nonetheless horrific. They would leave you in total isolation. Just hole you up in a dungeon somewhere with the water dripping on you and leave you entirely alone. Yeesh. I mean, they've done studies and shit where they've been like, oh, I'll stay one day in solitary confinement. That's no big deal. And like, they're like begging to be let out. And they're like, it has to have been a day by now. And then people are like, it's been like 6 hours.
I can almost hear like the water dripping, hitting, and it's just echoing through like the brick dungeon, like
no jeers, no insults from an admonishing crowd.
The best part is like they let the guy have a harmonica with him. He's like, all right, I'll fucking throw down a couple of harmonica riffs to the tempo of this water drip.
No, except they just, to taunt him with it, they just lay a harmonica on his chest because he's tied up. Or what does he have, the Bob Dylan thing, where it's like dangles.
You can have in
position.
You can have one request to bring with you. Oh, we'll have a harmonica. They all laugh. They
Yeah.
They go, no problem. How about a tuba?
Sure. A tuba.
How about a drum set?
Yeah.
And they walk him and they don't untie him. They're
he sees like the restraints. He's like, oh, I get it now.
He walks into a room. There's a drum set, a grand piano, and a guitar, and a freaking harp, and it's like strapped to a table for eternity. That's the torture. There's all these things you could play. We're not going to let you. Just out of reach.
Yeah, and all you have, no deliverance, no hope of reassurance, no camaraderie, just the empty room, the eternal sound of the dripping, and the dying echoes of your own haunted lamentations. That's it for Chinese water torture.
Chinese water torture. We've covered the Ling Chi. That was Chinese.
Yeah. There's been some crucifixion, I think. Oh, no, that was Japan, wasn't it? I bet you guys really love that when I mix up China and Japan. Our Chinese listeners, Japanese listeners.
They love it. It's like the same thing.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, well, that's a joke.
It's possible China came up in the crucifixion episode, too. That was a brutal one. A two-parter.
Yep. Which was not planned. That was our first not unplanned two-parter.
It just got out of control.
We just had so much
big
to talk
story.
about. Yeah, we were having a debate on whether we need more nude Jesus depictions in art. Because he was nude. As stated on Crucifixions Part 1 and 2.
Hashtag Jesus penis.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Free Harambe. Something like that.
Now, Chinese water torture, not the only type of torture that is used with water. There's also something known as the water cure. This is the forced ingestion of lots and lots of water. Again, sounds like maybe it's not that bad. But wait, there's more. This process involved the victim being restrained, and depending on the time and place, there's a solid chance you're still naked with a crowd abusing you. After that, the first thing is to take some wood and wedge the victim's mouth open. It's like take a wedge between the teeth.
Yeah.
Shove it in there real good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a door stop. More like a jaw stop.
Mm-hmm. None of this shit's shutting. Not going to happen. So then once the victim's air's open, or mouth is open, you clamp the nose shut with some pincers. This is probably done very harshly. Think like a locking wrench. There are pliers.
Hey, if I'm Czar, freaking, this is going to be red hot pinchers. Okay? All right, I'm going to throw them in the fire first. That's how I roll. I'm a tyrant, okay?
Yeah, so now the mouth is wedged open. That's when the funnel goes in.
Don't tell me it's for urine. Why would you think that?
Sometimes it was.
Come on.
Or there'd be urine mixed in with the water. Yeah, sometimes that happened. For sure.
Are you trying to make everyone in this studio throw up?
I see a couple people that aren't throwing up. They'll be okay. That's why we have bags on the back of all the seats.
Hashtag freaking vomit-inducing podcast. So they poured water down the funnels like gallons at a time. Well, like, drink up. Yeah, so son of a bitch. Should have never stole that loaf of bread.
Really what it is you want to keep a steady stream going. This forces the victim of the water cure to a choice. He has a dilemma.
Hurry up and pee it out?
No. You can't breathe in through your nose because it's shut. You can't breathe in through your mouth when it's full of water. So you have a choice. Swallow or drown.
Drown. Always drown. That's dinner in hell freaking...
No, in this one, swallow. Always swallow the water as much as you can.
Dinner in hell freaking...
You
time travel hack.
Make it through this process, though it did kill a lot of people.
So just take it through the lungs and end the suffering is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, but you might be able to have a life after this still, is what I'm saying. Look, sometimes this is just a torture, not an execution.
I suffer from TMJ, jaw problem.
Maybe they'd knock it back into place with the wedge.
My jaw would just come off my skull, I'm sure. It would just be like, no more jaw on your face, man.
I'm trying to find a silver lining. This is a new thing with me. Maybe it would fix it. You've heard of people that get into a car accident and fixes their backs or something like that? You ever heard of that?
You ever heard the story about the guy got broke on the wheel, except instead it like made him stronger and he won the Olympics the next year in Greece? Shit.
No, I must have missed that one.
You gotta catch up on your freaking Pliny writings then.
Oh, that must have been in an unreleased Pliny bootleg that
So
you
much.
got, but I haven't got from my Pliny trading club.
Pliny's Scrolls. That's what I read.
This is Pliny the Third. He's an outlaw historian. The whole different aesthetic than his dad or his grandpa.
Pliny's.
So at the beginning, this is an easy choice. No deliberation required. You swallow the water. You might get a sneak of breath in there before they fill your mouth back up again. But as it goes on, your stomach is a finite size. It can stretch, but can only stretch so much. Eventually, also, you run out of steam, can't keep swallowing, and then you drown. That's what happens. However, if this is the first time, you're likely a long way from being through this process.
I'm sure there's videos online where people drink like gallons of milk. They do that one. Or like, don't they eat like hard-boiled eggs, like challenge, and then they vomit it up in the end?
Yeah, I tried the gallon milk challenge one time.
Did it end like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Milk everywhere.
Yeah.
Warm milk everywhere.
Real bad evening. Especially because I was drunk before it even started.
Oh, man. Tequila, milk, party. Apple pucker and milk.
God.
Straight up. Fireball and milk, man.
That sounds disgusting. Oh, yeah. So once you drown, they'll take you down real quick. And they'll make you puke up all the water, choke out all the water that's in your lungs, pay good and take care of you till you're back to normal. Then put you right back up. Wedge goes back in. Funnel goes back in. Rinse and repeat. Killing you, reviving you. Killing you, reviving you. Killing you, reviving you. Over and over and over again.
Sounds like last week's topic, Jane Toppin. She would give her patients like a whole ton of like methadone and then bring them back out with adrenaline back down, like play games.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, wait, I just saw the light and you woke me up. Like they were dead, saw the light. Like I was with my mother. She was reaching out to me and you woke me up. And then it's like, it's okay, I'm going to kill you again.
Okay.
Stick around, man. This is
you.
going to go on all night, man. Tell your ma to stick around if you can remember when you cross over. But you're coming back. I got over here. I got this freaking guy. He's the greatest CPR person in all Rome. He can freaking bring anyone back. He invented CPR.
That would be a good guy to have around. No doubt about it.
Yeah, for freaking tyrants and shit.
Yeah, real good revivals.
Yeah.
Usually this went for like 6 or 7 rounds. Shit, you could jack 15 or 20. You got a paramedic in there.
Yeah, we're going to do a little Ling Chi, and it's going to be called the 4-month Ling Chi. That's right. We got a paramedic on deck. He's going to freaking cauterize each and every freaking wound.
My little heart just broke.
I'll tell you what, it's going to smell like barbecue in here. I promise you that.
They do say human flesh is closest to pork. I like
good
your
news.
authenticity here.
I like that. That's good news because we're crawling with people on this fucker.
Oh, if there's like a food rush.
Yeah, we could really solve the population, bro.
If you like getting mad cow disease.
I've never eaten human not drunk.
Oh, because that's the good excuse for everything.
Hell yeah. Oh, honey, listen to me, honey. I was blacked out, honey. I don't remember anything. This is crazy.
I have it.
Where's your ring? What? What were you going to say? Before I started going into freaking crazy wedding problem.
Oh, yeah.
Bit.
That's pretty much the gist of the water cure.
Yeah.
Drown you, save you. Drown you, save you.
Good thing that doesn't go on anymore.
Well.
Guantanamo.
Yeah, kind of. We'll get to that. So the Dutch of the Dutch East India Company were big proponents of this method, and it did feature heavily in their massacre on Ambon Island in 1623. In this method, what they would do is they would hung you by your wrists, right side up, not upside down or anything crazy like that. But your legs would be about half a meter off the ground. A foot and a half. You're not touching, is the point. Dangling by your arms, and then they drown you like that. Take you down, revive you, put you back up. Same deal. Not only them, France really loved this shit, and they would regularly sentence people to this from the Middle Ages well into the 1700s. There, it was referred to as being put to the question.
That's right.
Genius French accent. Dead on.
That's right, Master
See, it's
Wayne.
not Paris. It sounds like maybe Lyon. Yeah, definitely. Maybe like with a little bit of a rural tinge.
This is a more of a Nice dialect.
Okay.
You have a keen ear for French dialects.
That is why we have a dialect teacher at this program on staff. We never get it wrong. Always perfect.
He's an independent contractor.
What can he do?
We've got a great relationship thus far.
So being put to the question involved being force-fed 1 gallon of water, and being put to the extraordinary question involved 2 gallons of water. Hachi machi. That's a lot of water. There's a lot of stuff going into what is probably a very little tummy.
Yeah. Why do you just automatically envision a little tummy? What if it's a big person?
Their tummies are probably still little. They may be fat or something, so their guts are big. That doesn't make your stomach any bigger.
I was watching a little bit of the Andre the Giant documentary, and Ric Flair said that he watched Andre the Giant drink 106 beers. Oh,
yeah, Andre the Giant this is a different 2 gallons of water. He would fucking ask you for a third one.
And where did he hail from? The French Alps. God damn it. He's French. Andre. Something. I don't know his last name.
Andre could be a lot of things.
But he's French. He was born in French Alps, some city in the French Alps.
He is fascinating, just too beautiful for this world creature.
That's why God took him.
Needed another angel.
God was like, man, I loved your work in WWF. You're coming up here now. Time to wrestle in the clouds. You're going to love it. Hendrix is up here playing at a coffee shop down the street. It's every Thursday. He's
They
killer.
have fucking schedules.
Killer. Stevie Ray Vaughan stepped in once.
If I am in a perfect afterlife and it still has a fucking calendar, I am going to have some serious complaints.
Time.
Yes.
It just happens whatever you envision. That's what heaven is. I'm just kidding. I'm a total freaking lights out kind of.
Yeah, yeah, you may have surmised that from some of our episodes.
That was a character. I was doing a character that believes in heaven.
Wouldn't you be though? Like, could you imagine if I died, and I'm like you, I believe when I die, my consciousness will simply cease to exist. But if I'm wrong, which would be great, honestly,
yeah,
and I'm in some sort of eternal paradise, but somebody's like, oh, by the way, like, you have appointments to keep. Like, you're going to need to pay attention to what time it is, what day it is. You still got to pay attention to all that. I'd just be like, it would be such a disappointment.
Like, if you want to see Bowie tonight, you're going to have to come up with, like, this much freaking credit.
Can I just, like, have a David Bowie concert experience materialize for me?
You go to heaven and there's capitalism.
Motherfucker.
They're like, if you want to go to Bowie, you have to work
I think by definition, that wouldn't be Kevin at all.
This is how it is up here, man. You just got here. You should have been here like 400 years ago. It was way more chill.
Have you seen the television program A Good Place?
No.
I can't discuss it at all, but it's very good.
I don't watch TV ever.
What are you now, me?
I watch TV. I'm just kidding.
I caught season 1 of this program on Netflix with Mrs. the Impaler. We enjoyed it quite a lot.
I'm currently watching the Philadelphia 76ers show. It's pretty entertaining.
Nice. I just finished a program for next week's topic. That was incredible.
What, me putting my mouth over the entire microphone just now?
Yeah, but without it, there's no feedback, no nothing. It was great. Impressive.
Yeah, it's called...
I mean, you got to have your face smelling that windscreen, so I don't know how much you want to do that.
I brought this up on a previous episode that I was watching it, and now you watched it. It's called Unabomber, right? Discovery produced it, and Sam Worthington...
It's called Manhunt, the Unabomber.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking great. We got a lot of thoughts. I think next episode is going to be really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Swedish, big-time water torturers, too. During the 30 Years' War, they had no allegiance to the local German people they were fighting against, and they used this indiscriminately. In this context, it was referred to as the Swedish drink.
Some platinum blonde girl. She's like, "This time for your Swedish drink. You gotta lay down flat on this board, strap your fucking head down, and I'm gonna pour water from this pitcher until you scream like a little baby."
See, that's so different from the French accent.
Yeah, see?
The Swedish is dead on,
That's
too.
like a you may. I'm thinking of Sweden. Oh, yeah. Swiss. Give me a Swiss city. Go.
Switzerland?
That's right. Yes.
What?
Switzerland, Swiss. The country's called Swiss, right?
Switzerland. Zurich.
Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you. That's my Zurich dialect. Without Googling shit, I know nothing. That's why I make it up, okay? That's a freaking confession. Dinner and out confession. Huh. Dinner and out confession. Wing. Huh.
New bit. I love it.
It's all sad. There's a violin playing.
So you think maybe Spanish Inquisition, we've already talked about it once. It's not going to come up again in this same episode, but they also utilized the other type of water torture. Water cure, definitely done by the Spanish Inquisition. They added two nice little twists to it. Instead of wood to wedge your mouth open, they used a set of iron prongs to hold your teeth apart. I imagine that resulted in a lot of destroyed teeth.
Yes. Well, yeah, there's probably a lot of destroyed teeth this episode.
Iron is really hard.
A lot of our listeners found our show because of in hopes of hearing about destroyed teeth. Everyone loves hearing that.
God, ew. Another thing that they would do is they would also put a strip of linen down your throat to just make it more awful and make you choke / drown even faster. They could get through the cycles even faster. That seems unnecessarily harsh on top of what they're already doing to you, but whatever.
Linen?
Yeah.
Like what, like a curtain would be made out of?
Like a Miami guy's suit.
All right, check it out. This guy just died. This was part of his toga. We're going way back. Strip of that. It was right down near his ass. And make it even worse.
Ugh.
Just to pour
Swampy.
Insult to injury. We're going to put that down your throat now. Try not to puke. Okay, ready? Go. Pour.
This method also employed by the United States.
No.
Yeah, United States soldiers really like to water cure people in 1899 during the Philippine-American War.
And 2001 through 2018 in Cuba. Don't act like that shit don't happen.
Well,
I watched Zero Dark.
Technically, they banned it in 2009.
Well, Zero Dark 30 better be based in 2008. God damn it, because he puts a towel over his face and pours a bucket of water over his head. Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you lie to me, I hurt you.
Obama was happy to let it happen up until people learned about it, and there was, that congressional report, they call it everywhere. It is torture, you torture people.
Yeah, but also the invention of drones. Obama was like, fuck yeah, let's get these things going. Bomb that shit.
American citizen?
What?
He doesn't need due process and a trial. Blow his ass up from the sky.
Who? American citizen.
I can't remember his name. There was a jihadi who was an American citizen.
Oh, like over there, like
Yes.
Afghanistan or something?
Yeah,
He's protecting
typically,
our country.
If you're an American citizen, he was not protecting our country.
Look,
he was like protecting ISIS or Al Qaeda.
It's not like this guy was over there abducted while hiking and like, what are you doing in our territory? We're just hiking. No, he probably went there because he's like, I fucking hate Americans too.
Yes, that's exactly why he went there. Yeah, but he was still an American citizen, and according to the Constitution, the United States can't indiscriminately execute its own citizens. You need to have a trial. That's what that document says. But they don't. When people don't like it, the Constitution tends to just not matter.
But at the same time, if a child is stealing shit in China, a aspiring basketball player in China catches them and imprisons him, American president pardons that child for that heinous theft. Talking about that Lorenzo Ball mother effer.
Yeah.
So some we bomb, some we bail out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even it out.
So yeah, sure. We let Saudi Arabia. Oh, we can't get into this.
So we're talking about water torture.
Oh yeah, and Americans torturing Filipinos during the Philippine-American War.
Somehow you took it in a goddamn downward spiral into...
You mentioned the 2000s. We're not to there
I was
yet.
just talking about goddamn Guantanamo Zero Dark 30. And you said Obama's name. Roll the tape back, you guys. Hashtag
He
it.
is the one who banned it in 2009. That was during his administration.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, but their variation on this process is they would use their gun barrels for wedges to keep the mouths open.
Smile.
Witnesses recall this one definitely resulting in a whole lot of broken teeth, especially when it was done to elderly people.
Why? Because it's easier because they're more brittle. Like, Tink, look, guys, it's like freaking crazy. It's like a piece of chalk.
And if you're used to torturing and roughing up, a 25-year-old man in the prime of his life, all of a sudden you got an octogenarian. You treat him the same way, you're just going to tear him to pieces.
Fuck, what would you, if you had a choice to fight a baby, a person your age, or an elderly man, what would you pick in what order? Baby, elderly man, then guy your age.
I like to think I'm a sportsman. Give me the baby.
Give you the beat up the baby first, fist fight, like no one jumps in.
It's like a RPG. You got to start at level 1. You get the easiest enemy.
Yeah, no other babies jump in, no other, of your friends jump in. Clean.
Yeah.
Mono.
Then you move on to the old man. Because sometimes they have old man strength.
Hey, wait a second now. No, wait, what now? You're going to fight me, I said.
Yeah, sometimes they have weird old man strength, so that's why they're tougher than the baby.
You break him in half, bash his teeth with your shotgun, and then you got to face the guy your age, and this time you already got your heart rate going.
I have a shotgun.
This guy's coming in cold.
Now I have a shotgun, according to this scenario.
No, but
should be pretty easy.
That was only for the elderly. That was like, dude, now it's gone.
That's the other part of RPGs. Not only do you level up, you get better equipment.
Okay. So now you have your adrenaline going, your heart rate's going, you're already primed up. Mm-hmm. This guy's coming in cold.
Yeah.
You got to take him down.
Yeah.
Then you got to drip water on his forehead till he freaking says, uncle, taps out. Get it? Tap, water tap.
Nice.
So I did that.
That's a good one.
That's all from the workshop. They work, dude. They pay off. Money worth the money.
We're going to stay within the United States of America here. And this was actually a process that was commonly used by United States law enforcement. This is especially true up until the 1930s. This is called the third degree.
I thought you say fire hose.
If you're given... that's in another episode.
Gotcha. That was a natural sigh.
If you're giving a suspect the third degree, what that means is you've taken them to the bathroom with a full sink or toilet, and you just hold their face underwater until they stop struggling, take them out, revive them. Then maybe they might be more amenable to confessing to that crime you wanted them to.
Listen, you son of a bitch, we're going to dunk your head under the water. You're saying American police did that? Like, tell me the freaking, like, no one else did that, please.
Oh, I'm sure lots of people did it.
The Russian, duck,
Oh,
like,
yeah. God,
prisoners of
only
war.
knows what they're doing.
There's prisoners of war going, shit, American police, are you kidding me? That happened to me every day. When I was a prisoner of war,
Yeah.
I didn't see a cop ever.
I didn't say other people didn't do it.
What year is it?
I just said this. It's pre-1930s when they kind of cracked down on coerced confessions.
Who won the Super Bowl? That's my POW voice.
It's a good POW voice. Beleaguered. Sounds
Hey.
realistic. Sound like you want to talk to the manager, which is, I imagine, how POWs feel all the time.
I'm sick of water, that's for sure.
Oh, you know who else makes it on the list? The Japanese. This is especially true if you remember the Kenpaitai from World War II, the secret police that were feeding victims to Unit 731.
Okay.
They really like the water cure, and they meted that shit out in China on the regular. And the twist in theirs is they would jump on the victim's stomach when they were done to make them vomit the water back out.
Yep. Mentioned it at the head of the show intro.
Yep, that was the Japanese during World War II.
Okay, check it out. Fill them up with water. Strap them down. You gonna take your boots off? Nope. Freaking Japanese authentic accent. Man jumps up, comes down pogo stick style. Douche. Goldfish shoots out of victim's mouth. What? There's a fishbowl? Yeah, tell me there's a fishbowl.
That'd be great.
Like, good job. Welcome to I'm Steve-O. Welcome to Jackass.
This is
Steve-O jumps out of the bushes.
Goldfish cure.
Fishbowl cure. Dinner no fishbowl cure.
Now, the Philippines got in on the action themselves after 3 different colonial overlords used this water torture on themselves. They also used it on themselves during the presidency and dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos.
Classic Marcos dictatorship.
Yeah, 65 to 86, water cured people like 19-year-old journalism students, women. Now, this water cure can result in gastric distension, damage to the organs in your digestive system. Water intoxication, which is actually a thing. If you drink too much water, it will poison you.
Yeah, there was wasn't there a radio station that did this thing where you see how much water you can drink without going to the bathroom, and one lady got sick. It was for a car.
It'll happen for frats too, because ever since they got in trouble when people would die from drinking 100 shots of tequila and they just keel over dead because they're 20 little
shots
kids.
Of water now.
Yeah. So they started doing it with shots of water at some places. But if you drink enough water, what it does is it sucks all the salt electrolytes out of your brain. So you notice personality changes, then you'll get dizzy, excruciating headaches, inability to speak, incoherence, fainting, and then you die.
You ever get water drunk?
It involves dying.
Shit. He's on that water.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned waterboarding, right?
Allegedly.
Talk about Guantanamo Bay.
Maybe.
Now, this is the same as basically that, except instead of shoving some linen down your throat, they kept that linen, put it over your face like a mask, and poured the water onto that. So if the water is poured continuously, the victim of the waterboarding will asphyxiate, but they will experience all of the fear and suffering and pain that comes from drowning. If the water is poured intermittently, the subject will be able to occasionally catch a shallow breath, and they won't asphyxiate, they won't die, but all of that pain and fear and the terror of dying from drowning, all of that experience, you still get that. Still get to feel that.
Making me squirm.
Depending on your cultural bent, this is either, if you're an American listener of ours, this is either an enhanced interrogation technique or it's torture. If you're an international listener, this is less of a controversy for you.
Or if you have to protect your home, in our state, like if someone enters your home unlawfully, you're allowed to kill them. So like if you don't have a gun, like, and you can't get to a knife, all you have is a 5-gallon bucket of water and a towel. By God, just waterboard that intruder to death.
Now,
right in your living room floor.
I have one question. There's
by law, you're allowed.
There's one thing that's nitpicking me about that.
Does that include family? No.
If you have them restrained, isn't the situation kind of already under control?
But you still can do it. Aren't you just itching to see what it's like? Don't you just hope a motherfucker would?
No, I do not have any curiosity in that regard.
I carry my gun to Kroger, so fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm afraid a government takeover is going to go down right while I'm in the middle of a grocery shop. And that's why I carry it, to protect myself against the government.
Yes, this suburban grocery store is the most attractive target for ISIS.
That was a recent story online.
Or I might stick up.
Shot himself in the foot in a Kroger.
I find it the worst when people open carry. It's like, why in the world would you want to give up the tactical advantage of having a concealed weapon?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand the purpose of it at all.
Like, there's so many things in this gas station I could clonk you on the back of the head with.
Yeah, and then
and who has gun
shoot
now?
You.
Yes.
Yeah. People like stealing guns. Guns that aren't registered to you have an extra value.
Yeah, especially if they're registered to you and not them.
Yeah.
The purchaser.
That means they can use it to commit a crime, and they don't even have to worry about the police finding it because it will be traced back to somebody else.
Dinner in hell, do what you gotta do moment. Huh.
Now, common consequences of waterboarding include extreme pain, damage to the lungs, brain damage from oxygen deprivation, physical injuries, like, you're struggling against the things you're tied up with, so you maybe break some small bones in your wrists, shit like that. We're talking years of psychological damage. Physical effects from it can last for months as well.
Go into a restaurant, there's a glass of water on the table, like, get that shit off the table. Get that shit off the table. What is it? Punch the server right square in the face.
Jesus.
Sir, you don't understand what I've been through. Psychological effects of what I've been through. Who survives that shit, BT? You said everyone frickin' dies.
No, not everyone dies from waterboarding. I'd venture to say most people don't.
You pray for it. That's for sure.
It's a nasty torture. Or an enhanced interrogation technique. There are a few ways, really unique little instances throughout history that cropped up of water as a torture method that are pretty fucked up. There's a 17th century facility in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, that was aimed to reform young male criminals through the use of hard labor. People would sometimes refuse to participate. Hard labor sucks.
Chopping off a foot was like hurting, like ruining business.
Yeah. So if you were in this facility, what they'd do is they'd put you in an underground chamber, a cell, and that cell would begin to fill with water. And the only way to stop the room from completely filling up to the top with water is they give you a pump, a manual pump. So if you refuse to break rocks or whatever the hell it is they have you doing, you're going to work for your life.
God damn it. Ugh.
There was another type of water torture that was, this was more of an execution, I do have to say, that was inflicted upon the Jews during the Holocaust by both the Nazis and the Atrocious Party of Hungary in particular.
Is this when they strap you to the propeller of like a ferry boat rolling down the Mississippi?
No, a fucking steamboat.
Yeah, over and over. Splash.
No. What this involved is that they'd take like a small room, right?
Yeah.
And there'd be a really skinny pillar in the middle of it on which they would have you stand. The rest of the room would be filled with ice water. And that's it. But eventually you can't stand up anymore when you're on this tiny little pillar, and in the water you go, in which to drown or die from hypothermia. Real nasty. That is some straight up horrible shit for no purpose other than to just be evil.
Like when they put the Mongolians, they'd put you in a box and put you in the middle of the field just forever, like a live immurement. Oh, man.
Sometimes things, we'll do have to admit, get a little dicier than water, too. In medieval Europe, it was common to spice things up by including hot peppers or vinegar in the water, splashing in your eyes. I'm sure that was fun. Or going into your stomach, too.
Vinegar.
Bunch of vinegar. Spicy, hot-ass peppers.
Vinegar and baking soda. Just fucking lava.
Shoot out of your asshole like a fucking volcano.
Volcano science project. Here we have a science project. It's a human being. Shit in his orifices that's going to explode. Thanks for painting that picture for us and the entire world, Brad.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned earlier it was not uncommon in medieval Europe either for urine to be used.
I brought that up.
Yes, you did. Oh. I confirmed it for you. I think you were joking, and then I was like, no, they actually did do that.
Yeah, I'm constantly thinking about it. It's on my mind all the time. My wife's like, would you quit with the urine? Like, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
It's not that weird.
Are you trying to say that it had the potential to be weird to some? That's what you're saying by saying it's not that weird.
Yeah, I think some people might have kink shamed for that.
Some people might think that's weird, Mr. Maiden. How dare you say that?
You, maybe. That's it for water torture.
Oh, my God. Remember we watched that Vietnam, not Vietnam, but I guess, but like POW movie Rescue Dawn, and they tied his hands behind his back and put him in that little blocked in like cylinder. He had to like kick his feet to keep his head above the water surface. Yeah, that's another little water freaking torture. I was looking, I was checking the email, and I was notified that the top played cities.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're recording on April 20th, 420.
What's up? That explains why the audience is. There's like a little foggy out there.
Oh, they have a Hitler birthday cake. Like, you better toss that shit in a dumpster.
Yeah, we don't celebrate that here.
So it's Himmler's birthday, and also Columbine happened in 1999 on 420. Dinner in Hell future topics.
Oh, definitely.
But so, anyways, from March 20th to today, April 20th, the top 3 cities. Freaking, can you name them?
No.
In the last month?
I have no. Well, generally, it's going to be Detroit.
Detroit, number 1.
Detroit's number 1. Love you, Detroit. Wyandotte?
Hell no.
I feel like
major cities, bro.
Paris?
Paris? Never.
Budapest?
No, man. LA. Home of the LA freaking Galaxy. I'm just kidding. The Lakers.
Oh no! Home of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now,
yeah, he was just on like Kimmel, I think.
Yeah, Los Angeles Galaxy. Congratulations on landing a very entertaining footballer.
Yeah, I was wondering why he was going to be on American show.
Little Dinner in Hell fun fact:
What?
Brad the Impaler is a Manchester United supporter.
That's well known, BT, by your chest tattoo. When you go freaking hooliganing at the bar.
That's if you don't get it from my face tattoo.
There's footage of Brad at the local freaking Applebee's with his shirt off going crazy during the Manchester game.
Yeah, thing is, nobody else was watching the game, so it ended with handcuffs.
In the last month, the 3rd ranked city with the most plays is not American. Well, wait. It is American. It's not from the United States of America. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not freaking Tijuana. Although, hello, Tijuana.
Puerto Rico.
No.
Guam.
Calgary, Canada.
Oh, it's North American. That was a dirty trick.
Aha!
Dirty truck.
Yeah, we get a lot of Canadian freaking listeners. They loved the Pigman episode. They loved it. You know what else got a lot of places? Mount Rushmore. It was like, people were like, I want to learn about Mount Rushmore.
I thought that was a good episode.
Yeah. I want to learn about mountains. How mountains can affect people. How money can affect people. Freaking Chief Red Cloud found out. Poor little on the curb for Red Cloud.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Shit. Look at this crowd.
Oh, they've been through a long episode. Thank you, and thank you for being attentive.
Yeah, I mean, you think you'd get distracted, like looking at all your hands today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You like I know.
Oh, the shrooms?
Yeah, we put up a few blacklight posters.
Yeah, we handed out mushrooms to the crowd today that were 18 and up. Mm-hmm. Medicinal. It's prescribed for boredom.
Well, thank you for enjoying our show. Thanks especially to the listeners.
Thanks to the band. Thanks to
they are
freaking drummer. Oh, it's like a metronome.
Yeah, it just hits hard as shit too. I love it. Thank you. Have a good night.